it is important to involve the communities in the management of wildlife. And right now, I suppose that we are at a good time for the communities to be capacitated for a good governance of what we call community conservancy. That doesn't exist anymore in Zimbabwe, not really. And we want to follow the model of Namibia, where there are more than 40 community conservancies managed directly by the communities.
So we realized that the best thing in order to minimize the human-wildlife conflict was to spare a land where to come up with a land use plan where there will be a wildlife area and also the settlement area. So that's where Mucheni Conservancy came. But before, the forest or the conservation was already there since it was under Saboa Manyenyengwa concession. So we realized that in order for a good management, we need to have a to come up with a conservancy. So the whole journey started in 2015. 2015, that's when we started up at a community level, marking boundaries, reserving the area, consulting the whole stakeholders, the youth, the women, the villagers, and also to understand the cultural shrines within the area so that we know where to put a boundary, where to reserve a certain area for the shrines and some cultural activity.
Ya tatagadzidza kuya kuva nemuka nekutengesa muka nekuona mabenefit achiendeswa community. Mukasvika kukinya patakamboenda takazoona macommunity vachitengerana matransformer nenyaya yeconservancy iyo. Tengerana matransformer kati ndina transformer magesi ndana unotengerwa uyu noumwe. Saka kwatuda kumanyira na kuti kuvavarikira tuda kuti tinosvika pachinano icho kuti anenge achida zvinhu chakati kure chinoda mari then tomutengera under conservancy ikuitira kuti iyewo kana akutengerwa achisvikira kuti ini takachengeta muka kwatiri takatengerwa zvakati nenyaya yekuchengeta muka.
We really we are working together with the Binga Rural Council in pushing forward their agenda on the community conservancies. We are building on something that we found was in place as a project, but we are saying as a project we need to take this really to a certain level whereby communities are adequately empowered to manage their wildlife resources. By that I mean we need to support the communities where possible and within the framework of the laws of the country in regards to governance, the governance of the wildlife that they have here, because without institutions of governance it's difficult to achieve coordinated management of wildlife.
Yeah. We don't start from nothing, and so communities are involved in wildlife. We are living, you are living, they are living in Binga district, and so wildlife is a main concern because people are used to live with wildlife, and there are some human-wildlife conflicts, and we have in the obligation to manage the interaction between the wildlife and the other animals, and livestock. Livestock is the way of life of the communities in Binga district, and so we want also to improve livelihood of communities by improving the genetics of livestock, and as you saw, we introduced some bulk goats, and to improve the weight and the performances of livestock. And people know how to manage livestock, but they don't have the possibility to genetically improve them without the support of some organization. And so we try to help them in this way.
Mm-hmm. First thing was the issue to control or to minimize human-wildlife conflict. Second, is the community to take the lead in the conservation of nature and wildlife so that they feel the ownership. Third, to realize the benefits from conservation of wildlife and nature in order to promote the conservative and non-conservative tourism for the benefits of the community. Lastly, also to it's like to keep our cultural values. You know, we Batonga people, we lived together with wildlife, whereby we realized that for the past 10-15 years, a young child could not even know how elephants looks like and how buffalo looks like. Also, the other reason was there was a high poaching which took place within our area. That's why when we were doing the first assessment, we found 2 carcasses of elephants with almost more than 50 vouchers around those carcasses dead.
Swim project ndibonanga katulangide ward 5 ino imembuli councillor ndipakulumba kupati indi ndalugondo mukati ka moyo wangu because yatugwasya komakana amanzi yakagwasya ima resource monitors amabasigiri yatugwasya abapule muleke ndigo ndinke deeper kumakana amanzi tula chiborani chilasule awa chagali chiborani pere iswim yakasika yatubikira masola nyakabika masola twakonza kujana manzi mbuli community ndokulanga izikolo zili 2 kulisina koma secondary school kwasikuzoba insenga hill primary school ogya imanzi alokwinka ogya manzi alokwinka ku secondary bana bachikolo balokujana manzi mumpompi afifu gusule ogu tokale kugweja chibolani bana bachikolo I clinic A ilokujana manzi ndugwasyo ndutoka jana kuzwa kuswimu at least ibumi bwauba bwateta nkambo kuti kandilokulanga mu community omu muli machembere bala minyaka ma 50 ma 60 ma 70 it's very hard for that grandmother to come and pump up the borehole. So iswim ilokutuchitira kaboto yakatupa bapule ibampongo imabua amakalahari ikutiba so chinche imusyo bwa mpongo zitulazi ko tunini ituma 10 to 15 kg